Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Hope you guys are having a good start of the Friday and have a very good weekend ahead of us. Alright. This is my trade for today. I did have I did close a bit fast, but I'll explain the reason why. And then to review this week, we had a very good Sunday to Monday trade. That was my biggest trade of the year. And then on Wednesday, I had the worst terrible trade ever for this year as well. Not ever. I've had worse trades, but I erased all my profits from Sunday. So I go like weekly profits, and then overall at the end of the month, I review everything. So for this week, even though I had a very good trade today, profitable was very good trade. I did not end up the week profitable, all right, because of my trade on Wednesday, and I'll go back to it right now, and then show you everything how it worked out. Okay, so let's get on with today's trade. This was probably a 1 hour trade, or even less than 1 hour, probably 45 minutes. Let's start with the daily time frame. All right, so I was recording a video, I think yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday, where we have this area of resistance here on the left. That was also, previous area of support, but we have two consecutive resistance levels here, right? So I know that this area is probably a rejection area, where we did have also one rejection right over here. All right, so price is just tapping this area today. It just tapped this area. So if I know that this area is an area of rejection and we're getting close to it, I gotta identify which area it is, if it's a support or resistance, and how it's reacting from it. All right, so I know that we are going short term bullish. You have higher highs and higher lows, so probably gonna be a short term trade rather than a long term trade, like a swing trade or something longer, like 6-12 hours. All right. Moving average on the daily is below price action. Price action is right over here, so I know also that we are going bullish. Okay, so again, if I'm looking to do a short trade, it's gonna be probably if I'm shorting the market, it's probably gonna be for a couple of minutes to a couple of hours. If we go to the 4 hour time frame, I have this trend line going that has 1, 2, 3, and then 4 touches. So it's probably gonna do two things for this trend line. It's probably gonna touch on the trend line again, or it's gonna probably break. Now, and then the next thought is gonna be, if price breaks, it has to break below this low to keep going bearish, or to probably hit my alert right here underneath. Okay, and I'll explain why. If we go like this, and then we are still on this level of support here on the left, we can just move up again. But if we go like this, and then we break this level of support, break this current low, we have to probably retest and then shoot down. And then once we look left, we see that we have clear traffic from here to here. Okay, so this is clear traffic, which means if price breaks below this low, it's probably very good probability of hitting this alert here underneath. Okay, so another thing I'll pay attention to is the previous 4 hour low, which was right over here. I'll go drop down to the 1 hour time frame to explain it better. But if we look closely on this on this 4 hour time frame, we see that level of resistance right over here, and then we see the rejection from the candle right over here. Okay, so let me erase this so that we are not confused. So on this setup, we have trend line moving towards a bullish scenario. We have one very high point on the market over here, we make a new low, and then we come back to the same area of the previous highs. So I decided to enter for a trade. I was looking at this just because we are touching the level of resistance, but like I said on the previous video, I need moving average confirmation, candlestick confirmation, trend confirmation, and at least 3 to 4 confirmations for me to take the trade. Okay, so I already had the resistance confirmation that we are repeating here on the left. I don't have the moving average confirmation. That's why I exited my trade a little bit early, and that's why I didn't keep the trade going. But I'm still okay with it. It was enough for me for the day. Okay. And then I also have the candlestick confirmation and the trend confirmation, which we're going bullish and then short-term bearish here. And I'll show you, and I'll drop you to it all the way down to the 15-minute time frame. Okay, so 1 hour time frame, we have here the candlestick confirmation. This is a bearish engulfing candle for me. It closes below the previous candle open here. So there's a lot of bearish momentum going into the market. If there's not enough bearish momentum going into the market, we see that we are also in a previous resistance, which means that there's already 2 to 3 confirmations. And then the moving average is going below price action, which was right over here. Now we're going underneath. So if moving average is going below price action, means that we're going bullish. So I had to wait. When price was reaching here, it kind of rejected a little bit, so that's when I closed the trade, because sometimes when price touches the moving average, it would just reverse and then shoot up. Okay, so next thing, we have this current low over here. The goal was same thing like I said a couple of minutes ago. From this low was to break below this low. Okay, so we just did. Now we're gonna probably pull back and then shoot price lower again. But like I said, enough. You gotta know when it's enough. When you're too greedy, this is what's gonna happen. I have my take profit here either way. I close all my trades. It's Friday. I don't want to be stressing over partial trades. But what happens sometimes is when price is here and I do not close my trade, price will just come back and then close either a break even or a loss. This has happened many times before. So I don't really like to hold too much when it's a Friday or it's a day where I already had a profitable trade before. So this was about I would say 10% of a trade, a little bit less than 10% on the day, which for a day trade is very good. For long term, it's even better, 10% in a day. A little bit less than 10% in a day. I gotta make the right calculations, but yeah. So let me drop down to the 30-minute. We have also this bearish candle over here, and then price just started to act below the moving average here. But I was looking more at the 15-minute time frame. This is where it got one of my confirmations to take this trade. Okay, so 15-minute is very quick time frame. This is where I have to set up my stop losses, and my take profits I usually set at a higher time frame, like the 1 hour or 4 hour. So we had this candle here closing below the moving average, and then I see this moving average going over price action, which for me is already confirmation to take the trade. I see that we have this high in the market, so I place my stop loss right over here above this high. I did not want to place like somewhere very close because I could get stopped out. So I placed right above this high in the market, which gave me enough room, and it's still fairly a small stop loss. I think I put around 60 points on US30 for the stop loss, so it's very good. Not too big and not too small for price action to just tap me out and then stop me out of the trade. So the next take profit. This was the right here, the 1 hour candle that it took. It touched the moving average on the 1 hour time frame. It just moved up very quick. So this is when I closed the trade. I said, all right, this is enough for me. I can hold for longer, but just choosing not to. This was the take profit that I was looking to get. I think I closed that around right over here, 42 300. And then next take profit is, right over here at around the 42,000 mark. Okay, so let's just wait, see what the market does. If I'm right on the trade, good for me. Already closed in profit, so this is what matters. Next up, let me show you the gold trade that happened. This is the 1 hour time frame. So my previous trade on gold was around right over here. Okay, this was when my big loss happened. I over leveraged. I thought about it, after, and it was just ridiculous how I had a belief that this was gonna happen instead of looking at the confirmations, and instead of placing a good stop loss. I just literally over leveraged so much on this position. It doesn't really make sense for me to try to explain. So I took a very, very good hit, closed around over here. This is probably, let me see. Yeah, 20, close to 20 points for a stop loss on gold. This is absurd. Okay, so from there we hit this area of rejection, of reversal, and then literally came back to the same area where I was looking to take the trade. Okay, and now we're pulling back. Probably this is, hold on, let me erase this. This is a low if we're going to follow. So let's just plan for next week. If we're going to follow this market, this is a low, this is a high, and this is a higher low. So right now we're just waiting for another probably setup right over here, either to go for short, or if we start to go on the trend, we'll probably look like this, and then this, and then we are going like this if we're going bullish. If not, we're probably gonna end up coming back to this same area over here. So within this trade, within this inside this zone over here, I wouldn't do anything below here, or probably above here if we are above the moving average as well. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. If you guys watched the whole video, see you guys on the next video.